Hi everyone, I just want to talk to you a little bit more about what a variable is. So by definition, a variable is a symbol that represents different values in an expression. And it's also a variable is a location in memory that will store a value that changes. Generally, variables are fundamental in any coding language. They're used in every language in a different way, but they are the ones that manipulate the data to get the code to do what you want it to do. A variable is going to represent a value, and that value can change and in the program to do different things. So when working with variables, you have to think about declaring them initially. You have to declare and then initialize a variable. And what that means is when you write the var statement and you say equals some value, that's what you're doing when you declare and initialize a value. Initialize means you start the variable with a value. You should always initialize a variable in the beginning of a program, no matter what it's going to do. Also, the variable name should identify how the variable is going to be used and what the values represent. So when we're using the draw function, we're using variables x and y to represent values that are adding, subtracting to the xy coordinates. But if I was writing a program, let's say for a banking institution, I would use variables such as principal, interest, balance. Or if I'm writing a math program, I would use words like variable names like sum or operand or product. And those the values in those variables would represent what those, like a sum of two numbers or a principal. Anyways, so here's three examples. We're declaring three variables here: var x equals 10, var total x total equals 0, and var counter equals 200. So assignment is also huge and important to variables and understanding what that means. So variables only change in the program when they're on the left side of an equation. And when I say equation, there should be some equal sign in the coding statement. So here's a coding statement: x equals x plus 1. What this means is take the current value of x, add 1, and replace x with that new number. So again, the right side of the equation manipulates, adds, subtracts, divides, whatever. And then once you come up with a value, you put it in the variable on the left. And only the variable on the left side of the equation changes. So here for this example, total equals counter plus 10 plus 300 minus x. So if we look at that, we see counter is 200, plus 10 is 210, plus 300 is 510, minus x, which has 10. So that would be 510 minus 10 would be 500. So I calculate it, and now I change the value of total to 500. So I'm going to give you a quick example here, starting over. So here's a new program, for example, and I just have three variables, and I'm manipulating them down here. So let's see how the values in memory change. And remember, initial values just start off in the beginning. As the program executes, you have to use the values of the variables as they change in the code. So for example here, we have x equals 40. I'm going to put the value of 40 in here. Y equals 50. So I jump down here and put 50, and total equals 0. That's how the program starts. And as the program executes, one statement at a time, the values will change. So let's see what happens here in the first one. Total equals x plus y. So the values of x and y right now would be 40 plus 50. So the total would now change to 90. Again, the only thing that changed from that statement is going to be total, the variable total. Again, the left side of the equation changes. Next statement, x equals x plus y plus 500. So again, x plus y is 40 plus 50 plus 500 is going to be 590. And now we're going to put that in the variable x. So x changes from 40 to 590. Next statement here, y equals total plus 80 minus y. So total right now is 90. 90 plus 80 is 170, minus 50, which is going to be 120. And that's what I changed. I add that up and I put it in y. So let's do that again. 90 plus 80 is 170, minus 50 is 120. So now the value of y changes to 120. And finally, x equals x plus 3. So the current value of x is 590. 590 plus 3 is 593, and I put that into x. I replaced the current value with this one. Notice here, as soon as the program starts running, all these initial values go away, and you have to find out what the value of the variable is as you're going along. In any case, I hope that helps. Always remember that only the left side of the equation is changing when we're assigning values, and that as the program executes, the values keep changing. You don't go back to these values. You continue on with how the variables have changed. I'll talk to you soon.